Hello guys and welcome to another video. So for today's video, I have I will make another version of my chapter 3 summary, and it is entitled the Network Protocols and Communications in the Cisco Networking Academy. So without further ado, let's get started. So the rules: establishing the rules, an unidentified sender and receiver, agreed upon method of communicating, face-to-face, telephone, letter, photograph, common language and grammar, speed of timing, speed and timing of delivery, confirmation, and acknowledgement requirements. So for chapter 3, we have here the some of the rules used in the basic communication structure and how our communication gets passed on from us or we as the source and to the and straight to the destination, or for example your loved ones or your friends, and how quick we deliver our message, and also how both of the source and the destination understand what they are talking about, and the confirming confirming their turns in the method of communication. Message formatting and encapsulation. Personal letter contains the following elements: identifier of the recipier's location, identifier of the sender's location, salutation or greeting, recipient identifier, the message content, source identifier, end of message indicator. So shown here is the still parts of the rules are the formats for sending a message or having a physical letter. Of course, here we have in the picture here we only have the sender's location, also the recipient's location. Um, and this next five bullets are contained inside the envelope, which is mainly the whole content of the letter that has been sent from the sender to the receiver. Message timing, access method, flow control, response timeout. So for access methods, the sending of the message is guaranteed um but sometimes it doesn't send up every details that the sender has sent towards the receiver. It will just send what it can send, or it can send what it can only access, but it won't send up the whole message. For the flow control, we have the control of the passing through of the messages from the receiver and the sender, and how they take turns in sending or receiving, because the sender and the receiver both sends and also they both receive messages. And for the response timeout, it is the pauses that we make in taking the turns in communicating. Network protocols, how the network is formatted or structured, the process by which networking devices share information about pathways with other networks, how and when error and system messages are passed between devices, the setup and termination of data transfer sessions. So for the network protocols, it is a criteria which is also used for the proper implementation of the network. And we have here the first bullet, how the message is formatted or structured. So it says here that the network protocols is used for the proper formatting and the sending of proper structure of the message. So the process by which the networking devices share information about pathways with other networks. It is used for the devices to be able to find one another or search for their pathways in sharing some of the information. So how and when error and system messages are passed between devices. So network protocols are used for knowing some of the errors, and of course the use of system messages when interacting from the network. The setup and termination of data transfer session. So proper setup and the termination of data transfer must be properly in implemented. So setting up a proper network, and also determination some of the data transfer is the job for the network protocols to use. So the OSI reference model. So we have physical, from the bottom to the top. We have the physical, the data link, the network, the transport session, presentation, and application. For the TCP and IP reference model, the application, transport, internet, and network access. For the application, represents data to the user plus encoding and dialog control. So application is mainly used for our end devices like our smartphones and our laptops and desktops. For transport, it is it supports the communication from one device to other devices across some of diverse or wide networks. The internet, it determines the best path through the network. So of course the internet being the largest network, it must know the best path to be the best path for the network to apply the communication that the users are needed. For network access, controls the other devices and media that make up the network. So network access, it pertains to the physical devices that of course makes the network function well, and also the devices that can build a proper network. Communicating the messages, segmenting message benefits. Different conversations can be interleaved, increase reliability of network communication. Segmenting message disadvantage, increase level of complexity. So in communicating the messages, two we have the benefits and also disadvantage. So for the benefits, we have the different conversations can be interleaved, which means that even if we have lots of conversations, we can still take turns for in replying on each of the person that we send some of our messages with. Increase reliability of network communication. So the communication um and segmenting the message. For segmenting message disadvantage, increase level of complexity, which means that if we segment the message in the communicating the messages, sending a message to the building can segmenting messages has its disadvantage because as we segment messages, it turns into pieces, and of course, we the network will as they are turned to pieces, it still can hardly be sent most of the time, or some of the packets will be removed or unsent. So summary, data networks are systems of end devices, intermediary devices, and the media connecting devices. For communication to occur, these devices must know how to communicate. So this chapter talks about the networks, data networks as the system of end devices or any other physical devices, whether it's the end devices, the intermediary devices, and of course the media. So communication can work with by using these devices and letting them know how to communicate with one another. These devices must comply with communication rules and protocols. TCP or IP is an example of protocols. Oh, devices also needs to interact with some of the rules and the protocols which has been set up on their memories. Most protocols are created by standard organizations such as IETF or IEEE. So this IETF and the IEEE are the protocol organizations which makes the protocols used in implementing the network. The most widely used network model are the SI and TCP or IP models. Data that passes down the stack of the OSI model is segmented into pieces and encapsulated with addresses and other labels. This process is reversed as the pieces are encapsulated and passed up the destination protocol stack. The OSI model describes the process of encoding, formatting, segmenting, and encapsulating data for transmission over the network. So the 7 parts of the OSI model. Adding them up, it contains some of the process in the encoding, formatting, segmenting, and encapsulating data. The GPR IP protocol suite is an open standard protocol that has been endorsed by the networking industry and ratified or approved by a standard organization. So every TCP and IP protocol suite is created or endorsed by the networking industry and approved by some of the standards organizations available in the community. The Internet Protocol Suite is a suite of protocols required for transmitting and receiving information using the Internet. Protocol data units are named according to the protocols of the TCP/IP suite. Data segment, packet, frame, and bits. Fly models allows individuals, companies, and trade associations to analyze current networks and plans in the network and of the future. So that's it for my chapter 3 summary version 2, and I hope you learned from my videos, and stay tuned for my other videos, and thank you for watching this, and goodbye.